Um, so let's look at a little vlog for evaluation question 6. And it's basically, what have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing your product? I think we've learned, in terms of a group, and obviously me personally, we've learned loads in terms of using different technologies and how they can be exploited and changed to create a product. Because obviously, there's loads of ways in terms of the things, technologies were available. We had to change and manipulate them in a certain way. Um, in terms of research, I learned a lot about like the use of the internet and how specific websites can be quite good. For example, artofthetitle.com in terms of title sequences and looking at how they're constructed in real films and then using that to try and think about the ones that's going to be created for our film. Also using existing media products such as DVDs, audio commentary, so use of YouTube to find maybe existing preliminary, like existing final pieces, existing like audio commentaries and things like that from directors to how they've framed their shots and how they've done this and how they've done that to really learn about our final product and help to us to construct and really get that research down and so we know, like, for example, if you look at the start, there's loads of research on like what opening sequences establish and things like that. Also in terms of planning, so you use like things such as something that I had never heard of was animatics. So we looked at animatics from other sequences and then created our own, and really gave us a feel for how it was going to work in terms of the narrative, and especially with our soundtrack, which helped us to really knit everything together. And also using cameras for like location recce, so having pictures of different locations and then trying to get, and then you've got like photographic evidence, you can find which one's like the best to use. Also construction, so cameras, there's loads in construction, so obviously cameras, we use one camera for opening sequence. However, there was a lot of things we learned about that, one being the fact that it wasn't the best quality, and this idea of noise and how to get rid of that by like colour grade and things like that, and how like using a better camera may have helped our sequence be a little bit more dynamic. Um, Obviously, the editing software as well. Like I'd never used Final Cut before creating my final product, so I learned loads about that just from the basics to editing to putting fades in between scenes to cutting the scenes down. But also the complicated parts towards the end of the sequence, so things such as space designer to add. And adding effects to like your dialogue to make them look like they're on a phone, or sound like they're on a phone, and sound like they're in a certain space, like a tight enclosed space and things like that, which was a really good thing that we used. And also obviously post-production, so this idea of colour grading to help it look more filmic and more, a lot more like a real media product out there now. And even in this evaluation, if you look at obviously putting things on YouTube, so your feedback on YouTube, your vlogs on YouTube, it's using technology to help us to reach our audience and develop our opening sequence, even in terms of our evaluation. Um, Other little things I'd say would obviously be tripods and things like that, using tripods and also like handheld tripods where that helps the camera to be a lot less like shaky and things like that. In terms of editing, again, the stabilization tool, so if you've got a shot that isn't necessarily perfect, you don't have to go and refilm, you can add that stabilization tool, and sometimes it, like that last shot, it gives a really good effect to it. It makes it look really good. So all of those kind of things really what we've been looking at in terms of how we've used technologies to create our final product.